All right, everybody. So this is now the New York session. It's also Monday, and it's actually the day we're waiting for already. It's the new day. It's a new week for our trading challenge itself, and we're gonna continue the trades now. So far we actually already on the update on the account that we're trading. So I'm gonna also be showing us the account itself, and also we are also going to be potentially looking at you know the trade update and all. Okay, let's give this section a minute, just waiting for a couple of people to actually join us, and would be going. So we're just waiting for a couple of people to join us now, and okay, started. Alrighty. Yep. This is the NASDAQ open already is already spiking up, and then we are having the reaction already. So although price is in a good place, I am expecting to trade very carefully on a Monday, so I might actually not be entering any trades today. I may not be entering any trades today. This is a state of mind which I actually just started to actually get into, because unlike me before, I would have immediately jumped into a trade, but uh, sometimes December of last year, I was having a couple of losses in a row, and then I had to take like a 2 weeks break. And in that 2 weeks break, I realized that now I have a very much relaxed approach to my trading, and honestly speaking, it's very good. It's very good. All right, so right now, what's happening? The What is the market doing right now? So we have NASDAQ already at the you know trying to go for the Asian high. So since price already moved and it's not giving us a entry, so we just have to wait and see what it's doing. Ideally, we need to see NASDAQ in our area of interest before we are actually able to take any trade. And as of right now, NASDAQ is not in any of the area of interest that we have identified. The good news now is that now there is two area of interest here. Potentially, NASDAQ is doing some kind of reaction right here, but based on our past experiences with NASDAQ, NASDAQ needs to go and take liquidity here. So the areas of liquidity right now are the areas where we have the previous day low, the Asian low, Asian high, previous day high. So since right now NASDAQ is going up, what NASDAQ can do is this. NASDAQ can break the Asian high and also break the previous day high. That's very possible, and then it can now continue what it is doing, what started on Friday. So don't forget that on Friday, NASDAQ started breaking all these levels right here. NASDAQ broke this level, right, and then went all the way, but couldn't totally break this level to the left, right, which is also very significant, and we need to keep it in account. So what's potentially happening right now is that NASDAQ is NASDAQ is likely to go to for us to be interested in taking this trade, we need to see NASDAQ at this demand level right here. If NASDAQ doesn't come to this demand level, then we're not entering yet. It needs to create us a new demand zone for us to participate in. And how can it do that actually? From where NASDAQ currently is now, if from here, where price is now, we get a move that broke the previous day high, then this level is going to now become a new area of interest for us, like a demand zone, such that if price return to this level tomorrow or next tomorrow or sometimes during this week, then we can now take a continuation trade to the upside. But as our web price is right now, the only place we should be executing NASDAQ buy from is going to be down here at this level, right? So we need to see NASDAQ potentially reach this level, and if it doesn't reach it, then we're not going to do anything. Then we just call it a day and all. But right now, honestly, in this session, I'm not expecting to actually take any trade. I'm just expecting NASDAQ to, to do its thing. So let me log into the equity hedge, the prop firm account, so I can show you the updates that we have so far, so that everyone can see what the updates is in. And yeah, okay, so let's share that screen now. All right, so this is the equity hedge screen itself. We've taken only 2 trades so far. The first trade was a $100 loss, which is 2% of the account. And the second trade gave us a 5.6% profit. In one trade, we made a lot of profit, like almost 5% in one trade, and that's like huge. And so ideally, honestly, in an ideal sense, one more trade and this challenge is going to be over. Like, we're going to pass it and we're going to go on to the phase 2. But anyway, we still have to make sure we take the best trade. We're careful, we're patiently waiting and stuff like that. So in that regard, we would be trading carefully, knowing that if we're able to just take just one good trade, honestly, we will be able to pass the challenge. So we'll try our best to make sure we take only the good trade, right? And good trade is all about patience, all about patience. You identify a zone, price enter your zone, you lay down some scenarios that the price should actually perform, and it does it. When it does that, then that's exactly where you want to actually, execute, because the scenarios are much better in your favor and you want to just execute at that time. So, and that's exactly what we're going to be waiting for. And yeah. Alrighty, NASDAQ is actually moving very slow today, and it's looking like we are not going to be actually entering any trade. What I might just do is I'm going to set an alert at the Asian low, so that if NASDAQ should break the Asian low, then I'm going to be executing a trade there, and we could do that. Well, someone said I should check US 30, that it's actually going high, so I'm going to check US 30. Oh yeah, US 30 is actually flying, but the thing about correlation is that US 30 and NASDAQ, the leading indices is actually S&P 500. S&P 500 is the leading indices, and why NASDAQ is usually like the second, yeah. And right now, S&P 500 is already, going crazy, which is basically breaking out of the high. So very soon it means that NASDAQ can actually follow suit, So it's just that I cannot engage yet, because I need, for a good risk to reward, I need to have NASDAQ to be in a very good area. Because right now, if I just enter a trade right here, like imagine I enter a trade here, and then I have to put my stop loss, this is somewhere here. First of all, it's a very big point to put stop, and it's not the best area to actually put a stop loss. And then the profit target is potentially a 1-to-1 where the price right now is. So I may not really be interested in taking the trade, right? And if I say, okay, let me tighten the stop and then try to squeeze in some profit right here. So even though later on we can see NASDAQ moving a lot later on during the day, but it has to be in an area of interest, unfortunately. So if it doesn't stay in an area of interest, we will really not be able to like take any trade unless NASDAQ is in an area of interest. So even though S&P 500 has created a direction, it's flying up similarly to US 30, but US 30 is not even going to be. So my advice is, if you're trying to consider what NASDAQ is going to do, don't judge it based on what US 30 is doing. You can, if you look at S&P 500, S&P 500 is way more closer in how NASDAQ moves as well. Their correlation is very close in terms of average weighting. So I would say, if you want to use a decision making, sometimes when NASDAQ is moving in one direction, then S&P 500 will soon catch up in that direction. And similarly, sometimes when S&P 500 is already moving in one direction, NASDAQ is going to catch up in that direction as well. So that is just something for you to take note of. And but so right now it's looking like NASDAQ is facing a resistance as at this level. So the fact that NASDAQ is facing a resistance right here, you can see the resistance to the left, all this level right here, is the resistance that NASDAQ is actually dealing with. So if NASDAQ should potentially break out of that, then we have to see some kind of pullback. So until those scenarios happen, that's exactly when we want to be engaging this trade. Because what can happen right now is, imagine we buy NASDAQ right now. NASDAQ can just start flying downward, take the previous day low, and tap into the real demand zone that we're waiting for, and then start buying from there. So that's why we're going to just, we're going to stay patient today and wait for NASDAQ to be at an area of interest. Alrighty. Honestly, we can keep waiting. Anyway, we're going to do the first 15 minutes of the session and see how it goes. So we're going to have some fun waiting and looking at what NASDAQ is doing. And in that scenario, we are going to be waiting. You can see right now, NASDAQ is just pushing downward. And let's see, S&P 500 might already be rejecting, which you see, it is rejecting already. So, yeah. Sometimes it could be presenting you a opportunity, for buying, but it's basically that NASDAQ might want to go for the previous day low and the Asian low before they actually go all the way up. That is very typical for NASDAQ actually. From where we are right now, NASDAQ, and right now it seems like that's exactly what's happening. NASDAQ is moving downward 131 points. That's a lot of retracement. They can easily just do this, take the Asian low, tap into the demand zone. If NASDAQ should tap into the demand zone within 30 minutes of this New York open on a Monday, definitely I'm going to be looking to take a trade, because the chances might not be very much higher, and we might actually be able to take a really nice trade from that level. So let's wait. Let's give it some more minutes and wait for Mr. NASDAQ to do its thing. Wait for Mr. NASDAQ to do its thing, and we'll be having a really good day. We'll be having a really good day. Let's see the MT5, how it is doing. This is the MT5 itself, how it is doing. MT5, how it is doing. MT5, how it is doing. NASDAQ. Hopefully NASDAQ can give us some entry on a Monday, and that would potentially be really nice. That would potentially be nice. Potentially be nice. NASDAQ, 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 NASDAQ. All right, so right now we just have NASDAQ pushing downwards, and it's pushing downward and downward and downward. And we haven't done any entry because there's no signal yet. So until NASDAQ can give us some kind of bullish momentum from where it is right now, and then we can potentially say that NASDAQ is going to be maybe bullish or not, but right now it is not doing that. Right now it is not doing that. Okay. NASDAQ, 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 NASDAQ. NASDAQ. Give us something. Let's see. Are we having a setup on NASDAQ or not? Seems like NASDAQ might actually be going for the previous day low based on the momentum of what it is doing right now. So NASDAQ might actually be going for the previous day low. And if that's the case, then we are going to potentially be waiting to see it does what it's doing. So NASDAQ right now potentially might be going bearish on the short term. Yeah, NASDAQ might be going bearish on the short term just for it to go into the, let's see let's say this again. So technically NASDAQ can potentially want now to go into the the previous day low section, which is right over here. Because look at the first 15 minutes candle. The first 15 minutes of the opening is very bearish in nature. You can see almost 130, 50 points. So right now it's very sure, like, they will just stop here, tap here, and from here now we can be looking to take buys to the, to the upside. So now we have to wait, obviously. NASDAQ is not going to be buying from right where it is right now. So we need to see some kind of movement or action or reaction rather. Yeah. Okay. So let's give it some moments. Give it some moments. Let's give it some moments. Let's give it some moments. Let's give NASDAQ some moments. And so from where it is right now, it could also just be respecting the zone and just fly up, which is possible. But for us to engage, NASDAQ needs to take the previous day high. After taking the previous day high, then we are going to have a confirmation that there is buyer interest again in that level, and then we're going to be waiting. Very much likely today we are not going to be taking any trade. So in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to end this stream. So we call it a day, and then tomorrow we'll come back and see the opportunity. I believe it's best for us to wait till tomorrow, especially, Mondays are like trap days in the markets. There usually isn't any clear direction, and then you have to be careful, trade carefully, stuff like that. So in order for us to trade carefully, it's best that we just, let today be a day to just see what direction the market wants to take. We'll come back tomorrow and give it a fresh mind, and we have a better chance of taking good trades tomorrow. So let's go back to the trading view. On the trading view, you can see price is just moving. It's trying to rest. It's still within the Asian range, and we need to see a breakout outside of the Asian range for us to also know, how the direction is going to really set or kick in for the week. So, and so now we haven't taken any trades. Still 2 trades on the challenge, $5,169. So we are going to be patiently waiting again. And all right, people, I think we are going to call it a day already. Let's call it a moment. Let's give it 2 more minutes, and then we'll see what NASDAQ wants to do in 2 minutes time, and then we're just gonna just go, and we'll come back another time. All right. Yeah. Alrighty, everybody. So I think we're gonna call it a day right now, as NASDAQ is potentially trying to respect that level, and so we just need to wait and see if this level is going to be our new demand zone. And if that's really going to be true, we have to see NASDAQ from where it is right now, break this high from here, and then pull back, and then we can take a trade from here. So if that happens, fine. If it doesn't, then our money is still protected. We're going to come back tomorrow and we'll have the best trading scenarios. Thank you everyone for coming. As usual, we will keep everything transparent on the channel, and feel free to ask questions in the comment section if you have anyone, and then join the Telegram channel if you feel like you have more questions. And with that, I think we're going to see each other on the next day tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Happy and safe trading, everybody. Make sure to protect your capital, and see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.